Good morning, everyone. Dr. Steve Stohler here, Fundamental Health Solutions. We're the coaches that teach you to think right, eat right, move right, and live right. And we're going to start from the bottom up. I just want you to know that these exercises are just something that I found to help people move through their little sticky points. I'm super grateful to the folks at StickMobility because they have brought some ancient technology to our modern world and I really appreciate them for it. So big shout out to them. So today I'm going to show you some of the things that we are starting to use in our practice for warm-ups, and then this series is going to continue on. We're going to build a program here for you to do and perform every day because it's important that we move our bodies in a healthy way every day. So we're going to start from the ground up today. So we're going to start with our sticks. This is a 5-foot stick, and we're going to work our ankles and our feet because this is where we really hit the ground every day. And most of us are wearing stiff shoes and our feet aren't allowed to feel. And we got to think of these things as just like hands. We need to develop that dexterity and we need to be able to feel our feet. It's a very important part of our brain and brain development that we feel with our feet as well as we feel with our hands. They're almost like sense organs, just like our eyes, ears, and nose. So we're going to start today with the feet just about shoulder width apart, hands out front. I'm going to show you 3 progressions that we're going to work with today. So the first one is, very simply, take the sticks. You're always driving down in this arm angle so the nose of the sticks is back towards you just a little bit so you get that natural angle of the arm pressure. Again, you've got this nice grip, which also develops some neural drive. It's not as important in this first exercise, but as we work in some of the other ones, we're going to require just a little more stability. You're going to drive the sticks into the ground, and it's about 10 to 15, maybe 20%, just so that you can feel your abdominal wall come on and just generate a little bit of stability. Then we're going to work a little dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So we're just going to go up on our toes, and then down, and then up on our heels. Up on our toes, down, back on our heels. So the sticks are there to just add a little control to this movement. A lot of us have some sticky points in our ankles and our feet. And so we're working through that basic function. Why do we add this movement and this motion? Well, it's the way that we develop motor control. Now, what motor control is, for those of you who may or may not know it yet, is that's the way we save it in our memory. So it's like many times my clients say, well, I stretch every day and I just keep getting tight, and the next day. It's because we just haven't hit the save button on the movement. So with adding the movement and developing that control is just critical to keeping it day in and day out. So it's there for us when we need it. And that's the most important idea behind moving well and moving often. So we've done that flexion on the dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, we've gone up on our toes, and then we've come back on our heels. So we've got this front to back pressure going through our ankles, and that's nice. Now phase 2 would be a little bit of a lateral motion. We can do it 2 ways. We can invert the right foot and evert the left foot, and we can switch back and forth. And what you can't appreciate is what goes on in your feet. Now I like to prefer to do these either barefoot or in these kind of minimalistic shoes. So we get this downward pressure and it's just working the inside and the outside of the foot and just feel it. Now what you may notice is if you're, imperfect human like I am, is that you have these little glitches. And my left foot and ankle has been a little bit of a trouble spot for me for all these years. I have trouble controlling the left foot worse than the right, and it leads to some other dysfunctions that I have. So this is a really good exercise for me, and I really try to focus on my left foot especially, trying to keep my toes down, rolling from side to side and feeling that. That's a great one. You can also do it in the plantar flex position. You can roll to the left and roll to the right, rolling across the ball of the foot. The sticks are just there, if you add the pressure, to just add to that stability. It seems like that you're not really doing that much, but from a neural perspective or a brain perspective, you're waking up a whole lot of receptors. Now, most of my clients are in that 45 to 65 range. One of their greatest complaints is balance. They have trouble standing on one leg or have trouble maneuvering because of this balance issue. And for older adults, it's super important to develop that, and it's really important to develop before you've really lost it. It's much harder to get back than it is to maintain. So I encourage, even though it seems simplistic, that you give it a shot and just see how well you do. So again, we have plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, so toes and heels, and then we have inversion, eversion, inversion, eversion. You can do the inversion, eversion from the tall position and really roll across your feet. Now you may be tempted to go fast, but it's much better to go slow and feel the insides and the outsides of that forefoot, that very front part of your foot as you roll across those. Now we know the big toe is the linchpin of where movement starts. So many of my clients have lost the ability to actually bend that toe. So this is a great place to just really work on that from a balance standpoint and a mobility standpoint. You're actually mobilizing that toe, and of course when you're up on that toe like I am right now, you really start to develop that arch, lengthening those muscles through the calf, and then you can work on the balance. Now the last one in this series is a little rotation. I like to do it up on my toes, where you come up on the toes, and then you roll down and out and around, down and out and around. So you're going through that whole motion in that triplanar way. And then of course, we got to do it the other way, so reversing it. Because we never know when we're going to need to go the other direction, right? So it seems really simple, but try it, and then try to see, it's kind of like handwriting, right? You want it to be nice and neat. Back and around. So, like I said, Dr. Steve Stohler, Fundamental Health Solutions. We're starting from the ground up on this series. We're working on our mobility of feet and ankles. We're going to take you through a whole series of warming up your body, and hopefully you'll enjoy them and practice them, and then you'll have better movement, less injuries, and you'll maintain your stability and mobility all your life.